Adam Taxin here on Thursday, May 17th, 2012, a very sad day in the world of music. The queen of disco, Donna Summer, has passed away, and with me to talk about it is Jade Starling, who is the lead singer of Pretty Poison, a group that's been around for about a quarter century now. Jade, your initial thoughts when you heard the news about Donna Summer?
My heart just fell to my feet. I mean, I have idolized Donna Summer since I was 8 years old. It was the first record I ever bought, I Feel Love, to the point where I wore that song out. My parents wanted to toss it because I was just obsessed with the whole Donna Summer thing, her sound. Then I was into Bad Girls and, you know, Dim All the Lights. Just, I mean, so many hits. And what an amazing pioneer for women in music.
Yeah.
She was the original diva. And she was one of the reasons that I became a singer.
Wow.
She influenced me early on as a child. And I'm so sad, you know, to hear of her passing. And she will leave behind a legacy.
Oh, she certainly has. You know, two things you just said there I want to follow up on. One, it's kind of funny that as a little kid your first song was I Feel Love. Between that and Love to Love You Baby, those were some pretty sexual songs, to put it mildly. You also...
My parents were into disco dancing in the 70s, and I was always fascinated with the whole aspect of the dancing and the music. To me, it was so exciting. And Donna Summer's voice, to me, just sounded like an angel. I don't know, I was just attracted to her sound, and when I saw the visual of her, I just thought she was heaven sent.
Yeah. That is some voice she had. You know, and by the way, if that's how you get your kid to become a star like Jade, you play them Donna Summer records early, I suppose, and you introduce them to music. Yeah, that's not for everyone. I'm not sure I Feel Love and Love to Love You Baby are the most appropriate songs for little kids. But anyhow, you also mentioned that she's a diva. Now, that's interesting. Obviously, she has the voice and all, but from everything I understand about her personality, she wasn't exactly Maria Callas-like. She wasn't Mariah Carey-like. We often associate divas with those kinds. She was a born-again Christian.
I don't really associate that word diva with the difficult, hard to deal with female. Okay. Which, you know, you could look back in history and diva actually meant, you know, a temperamental, you know, wanted everything a certain way kind of woman. But to me, a diva is a songstress.
Right.
Diva is someone who can provoke emotion and just instill so much joy in your soul when you hear their voice.
Definitely.
And to me, Donna Summer was a diva in that sense of the word.
Yeah.
And really, there was no one like her. She really was unique unto herself. I mean, she started the whole wave, and I don't believe that anyone ever really had the unique sound of her voice. I mean, she really was her own. She was one of a kind.
Yeah, and I would like to mention that Camille Paglia did a list in Salon.com a few years ago, and you were included on that, I think, for Catch Me I'm Falling and Nighttime, both Pretty Poison songs on the greatest disco hits of all time, but Donna Summer had a few more than you did in there, more than anyone. I think it's safe to say, and you can disagree with me, that there's probably no more important figure in the history of disco, with the possible exception of the Bee Gees. Am I fair in saying that, than Donna Summer?
You are very fair in saying that, because when you think back to the disco era, you definitely think Donna Summer.
Yeah.
I mean, she pioneered, to me, the whole sound for women. I mean, there were artists, there were groups, there was ABBA, you know, other disco artists, but I mean, in the true sense of the word, she evolved as a performer and as a singer and lasted, you know, beyond the disco era. I mean, she really proved that she was here to stay, and she was a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, she's been performing in Atlantic City each summer, or she had been, till I think through last year. Maybe it was 2 years ago, and I really regret not being able to have gone. I was hoping to do it this year, but obviously.
And it's funny because I just did an interview for another radio show, and they were discussing influences and things like that, and I was talking about Donna Summer, and I pulled out some CDs I had and was listening to her music like last week. So this is just, really a gut-wrenching shock and a hurt that I feel is down to my soul.
Yeah. If you had to pick a favorite Donna Summer song of all, I mean, that's a really tough question to ask, but if you had to think of one that you just like hearing more than any other, what would it be?
I like so many others that I really like I Feel Love, because that was the one that I responded to early on. But, I mean, I love all her songs. Bad Girls, Dim All the Lights, I mean, just everything.
Yeah.
She was just so good. She Works Hard for the Money.
Love that one.
I mean, just incredible, empowering songs for women.
Yeah, that's true.
I just had such a great respect for her, and also was happy to find out that she did co-write her songs, which a lot of artists in that era did not. She was not a prefabricated artist. She was someone who was, writing her own songs and working with great producers like Giorgio Moroder.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Really expressing herself and becoming her own entity. And she was a very, very important artist, and she will live on, throughout history. I mean, she's legendary.
Definitely.
And they should really make a movie about her life. She had a really a great life, and she had a hard life at the same time. And I truly didn't even realize that she was ill.
Right.
So I guess she kept her personal life personal. So I was sad to find out that she passed from lung cancer. So, I mean, it's not something that you want to talk about, but yet, she really concealed a lot of her personal life.
It's it's interesting that I guess her last big hit was She Works Hard for the Money, and then she had a hit in I think '82, Love Is in Control, Finger on the Trigger, and those were really the only big hits. But she had a suicide attempt in 1979, and that was really after she was on top of the world. It's just interesting how she changed her life and really recovered, and it was after her great period of success. It's very interesting, her life, what you mentioned before.
Well, I also find with true artists, great artists, there comes much pain, deep pain, and sadness with creativity.
Oh, yeah.
Because most artists I know, and that I've, studied throughout the years, and, myself included, I've gone through hard times, and, we're still here to tell the story. I think that most creative people have a bumpy ride in their life, and that's what makes them artists.
Yeah, that's a chicken and the egg thing, to me.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel that, a lot of times when you're at the top of your game, at that point, when you are number one at the top of your game, there's no place else to go but down at that point.
Sure.
And then you work to, sustain your career, and then you work, hopefully, to get more hits and be up on top again. But I think because her highs were so high, that the love was such a rush for her. Because times changed. It was out, and then it was grunge. So a lot of things changed, going from 70s to the 80s.
Yeah.
And musical taste changed, and she probably was still trying to find where she fit in and carve her niche.
Yeah, well, it wasn't that long between hits. It was like 78 was when Hot Stuff, etc. came out in 82, so 4 years.
She was so provocative, and I think that's another thing that really attracted me to her music and to her image. I loved all the blatant sexuality and sensuality, because a lot of artists really weren't pulling it off like she did. It was so believable. I believe everything she did was from her heart, and you could feel it when you listen to the music. It was just amazing.
Yeah, you can't really fake songs like "I Feel Love" and "Love to Love You, Baby" and "Bad Girls." You just,
I mean, truly orgasmic. And at the time, I didn't realize what it was, but I knew I liked it. So, the feeling definitely struck me even early on. And I always feel that if your fans, your music buying audience, or your music listening audience, if they don't feel it, they don't get it. So with her, there was so much feeling and emotion, and I think that's why she was so loved throughout, all over the world.
yeah. Well, it's a sad day, and I appreciate your taking the time. I've been talking with Jade Starling from Pretty Poison, and thanks for your time today, Jade.
Adam, my pleasure, and check me out on my Facebook. Facebook me, Jade Starling, and hope to talk to y'all soon. I got a new record coming out called Captive.
I'm sorry, what's it called again?
My new album called Captive. It'll be out this summer, 2012, and we're going to be at the Tropicana June 15th at the Boogie Nights, so I hope to see everyone down there this summer. Donna Summer, rest in peace, my sister. I love you. We miss you, but you'll be with us forever. Ooh, I love you, baby. Ooh, I love you, baby.